It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. I'm going to take a moment to take off, not my earrings, but my earbuds. Yes, harken back to those halcyon days of junior high when our gym coach or our PE coach would insist that before we did our main event, we warmed up. And then before we returned to class, we did a cool down. We're going to follow a similar paradigm. We're going to begin with Okay, so we're going to begin with, I think I made a boo-boo here. Wait a second. I did make a boo-boo here. Well, don't I feel like a monkey's uncle? That's the problem. Okay, here we go. So I'm going over here. I'm hitting this. And I'm going to hit copy. And then going over here, I'm going to hit Mahayogas. Wisdom warm-ups. By the way, this is the latest version of Word, and I forgot how you set it so it doesn't automatically capitalize the first letter in a new line. If you remember how to fix that setting, let me know. I really appreciate it. So let's see here. Let's go to there we go. Whoo-wee. So, the view of reality that supports letting go is the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. We might describe it as Mahayoga's wisdom warm-ups. Please chant with me. Rather than indulge our controlling tendencies with our follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. Cowabunga. Ooh, you know what would be good? I think if I pulled this to the right and dropped it down. Let's check that out. A little bit more to the right, a little bit more down, and check it out. Getting there. That's what she said. Okay. A little bit more, once again. And now we're going to drag one corner. Thank you. Let's move on. So, let's break it on down. Consider the word may. This is not an inference to supplicate an imaginary celestial entity. What we are doing is simply using words to guide our own intention. The Buddha was fond of organizing that which we could be perceived into the four categories known as the four bases of mindfulness: the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. We're going to begin with circumstances, whose monosyllabic synonym is lots. Humans have evolved to think symbolically. That is why in every culture there are figures of speech. We're going to use the verb melt as a metaphor of impermanence, and we're going to use the inference of absorption as a metaphor of interdependence. Now, just as a forester might fight fire with fire, we're going to use self-centeredness to transcend self-centeredness. We're going to chant this, and after let's just chant it together right now. May we see how all circumstances or lots could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. And now we're going to take all these words and coalesce them into just 6 syllables that we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. That'll work. May we feel how all bodies or forms could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. May we hear how all interpersonal speech could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. The moment one begins reading about Buddhism, it doesn't take very long until one stumbles upon the idea of emptiness. When emptiness is explored literally, it ends in either pseudo-intellectual raving or the lazy-mindedness of blind faith. However, when we view emptiness figuratively, it makes perfect sense. Now, any good English teacher worth their salt will remind us that a simile is only as beneficial as it is relatable. So on the second page, page 17, let me see if that page number is revealed. No, it's not. On the next page, we're going to answer the inferred question, what is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? Let's begin chanting with the word may. May we feel how all perceiving, emoting, intending, thinking, recalling, and imagining minds could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be not graspable to the hand. This is what I wanted to do. Okay, so now we come to the cut and the paste. Let's just hit paste and see what happens. Kawabunga. Splendid. Now we turn to the seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path that are described by some as Hatha Yoga's mindfulness and meditation. And we shall do that after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. But first I must check the formatting. Aha. Naughty, naughty formatting. Okay. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Let's see here. So yes, we stand on the precipice of Hatha Yoga's mindfulness and meditation. But just as a really nice car, you'll want to drive a really nice car on a well-paved road. The road upon which Hatha Yoga travels is Hatha Yoga's energy work. Now, there are many flavors of energy work. And over the last several decades, the one I found the most efficient is mudra, or finger-oriented energy work, which of course sounds deliciously salacious. So what we're going to do is we're going to use oh, I made a boo-boo here. Let's right here. So let's move that and push this over here. And I forgot to push the right button, so you're just stuck looking at my silly face. Maybe push button 9 real quick, like I should have. Oh, come on now. Here we go. Let's see if that fits on the screen. Somewhat. Try again. Still not good. Come on. And now let's see. Okay, good. So, as I was about to say, we're going to track our first of 4 collections of 4 sets of 12 rounds. I'd like to explore how to do that upon using, of course, the jumbo cam. So let's turn our attention to our right hand. We always begin counting with our little finger, just like in jiu-jitsu, you grab with your little finger first. So, during each inhalation, we can advance our thumb, so that over the course of 12 inhalations, our pattern of counting would resemble 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But that'll only take you 1 or 2 minutes. And if you want to do this for at least 15, or if you want to do this for much longer, you'll want to introduce the left hand to count sets of 12 rounds. Our first, second, and third set of 12 rounds. Our third, fourth, and fifth set of 12 rounds. Our sixth, seventh, and eighth set of 12 rounds. Whoops, I got ahead of myself. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. our first set of 12 rounds, our second set of 12 rounds, our third set of 12 rounds, our fourth set of 12 rounds. But wait, there's more. When we rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger in our lap, palms up, not only is it easier for our thumbs to count creases, but we wind up inviting our subtle energies to coalesce at the region, in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. And now, at long last, let's explore the Ati Yoga of mindfulness and meditation. But let us do so through the lens of neuroscience. So we got to start with what not to do, because so many of us have been force-fed misconceptions. So let's explore how that works. Sturgeon's Law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, and that suckiness could look like being trained to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. And when someone is marinated in these attributes, they will implore their students or their readers to actively focus and actively analyze. Now here's the hiccup. The only part of our central nervous system that is capable of such things are the discrete pathways found in regions such as the medial prefrontal cortex or the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Here's the hiccup. When we fatigue our prefrontal cortex, it triggers our almond-shaped amygdala, which functions as the seat of anxiety and aggression. So imagine going through all the effort to train your mind, because in the name of peace, only to experience greater anxiety and aggression. Here's some good news. The complexity of our central nervous system is comprised of more than just these two components. Yay! Check this out. Let's look at mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are wired to access our sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to notice in a very specific way, to help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which I'm sure you will agree is the opposite of concentration. But what? What are we to notice? Oopsie. Mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, such as emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. Now this sounds really complex. Fortunately, the most efficient way to do it is also the most easy. Simply silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. So ideally, there's a way to... So we turn now to meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we are automatically accessing our parasympathetic nervous system. The question is, will our cerebral cortex fight that or cooperate with that? The parasympathetic nervous system, ensconced within both the bottom third as well as the top third of our spinal cord, has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. So check this out. There is a way to relax in harmony with our exhalation that causes that which we perceive during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel less solid, less permanent, and less defining. So how do we do that? How do we get our cerebral cortex to cooperate with this? By silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. It's just that simple. What is mindfulness and meditation? The art of teaching our cerebral cortex to cooperate with both facets of our autonomic nervous system, instead of oppose it. Let's practice. Good morning. Welcome to the live stream. So let's continue. We continue now with Anu Yoga's gesture-oriented energy work. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use our left hand to gather 4 sets of the 12 rounds that we collect on our right hand. I'd like to show you how we do that using the jumbo cam. During each inhalation, we advance our right thumb so that over the course of 12 inhalations, our thumb advances thusly. Beginning with little finger, just like in Jiu-Jitsu or Judo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Mad Magazine said Judo is the art of attacking someone else's clothes. So on our left hand, we count 4 sets. So over the course of 48 breaths, we would advance our left thumb thusly. First set of 12 rounds. Second set, third set, and then fourth set of 12 rounds. Always beginning with the little finger. But wait, there's more. We can rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger and set these 2 hands palms up in our lap. Palms up that our thumbs might happily count creases. Doing so induces or invites our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our abdomen. So let me give you the lowdown on the hoedown. What if mindfulness was simply noticing in a very special way? Noticing fleetingly, randomly, viscerally, passively, and viscerally. How important is it to notice vulnerably? Well, it's so important it was reflected in Buddhist artwork. For their nudity reminds us of the vulnerability crucial to mindfulness. But what are we supposed to notice? Well, we notice mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. Now, this could seem overwhelming. Fortunately, there's an easy way to do that by silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. That begs the question, what are we to do with all that which we noticed? And that's answered by the one word meditation. But how does meditation work? What if there was a way to physically relax in harmony with our exhalation so that all that we perceive during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less solid, less permanent, and less defining? How important is it? It's so important that it's reflected in Buddhist art, wherein this couple, seated in tantric union, are depicted in such a way that their translucence reminds us of the relaxation into the nature of mind, which is just a fancy way to describe what we just described. Now, how do we... It's always good to have a hook to hang your hat on. So what's the most efficient way to practice this meditation? To silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. How do we do that? Here we go. Let's see if this fits on the page properly. It appears to. Fabulous. So we now come to the third of 4 collections. Let me just go over here real quick. 1, 2, 3. Second of 4 collections. Oh, nice. Let's go back. Okay, let's see how that looks. Almost. Let's go over here. Check again. Almost. And check again. Okay, excellent. We now come to the third of 4 collections of our left hand's 4 sets and our right hand's 12 rounds. On our right hand, we advance the right thumb during each inhalation, thusly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, always beginning with the left hand. This is how we count rounds. To count sets on our left hand, we begin also with the little finger, our first set of 12 rounds, our second set of 12 rounds, our third set of 12 rounds, our fourth set of 12 rounds. And we count collections on our knuckles. So we now come to the third collection. So we're going to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger in our lap, palms up. Let's tap button 9. Doing so invites our subtle energies to coalesce in our rib cage. So if the essence of mindfulness, you gotta see what's going on with this bad boy. Okay, so if the essence of mindfulness is simply to notice, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, but notice what? Notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, imagination. And one of the easiest ways to do all that was to simply was to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. And if the essence of meditation was simply to relax in harmony with our exhalation in such a way as to cause that which we perceived during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel less solid, less permanent, and less defining. Then, what is the easiest way with which to practice that? To silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. But, my friends, in late-stage capitalism, we cannot help but ask, what's in it for me? Well, let's look at 2 of 3 benefits. Number 1, regularly and enthusiastically and correctly practicing mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so can calm our anxious and aggressive amygdala. Number 2, it can stimulate this funny thing right here that kind of looks like a backwards letter C. The big kids call this the anterior cingulate gyrus. It functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, plural, the seat of empathy and compassion and love. This is why the late Kulkutundup insisted that the highest love is spontaneous and uncontrived. No, it's not the product of active focusing and active analyzing, for these things stimulate the opposite of empathy. They stimulate anxiety and aggression. Instead, the highest love is the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of passive mindfulness and passive meditation. This is so integral to the Buddha's path that it's reflected in this piece of tantric art. For their beauty reminds us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. Let's practice. 1, 2, 3 knuckles, third of 4. Okay. So 4th of 4 collections. Okay, so let's go over here and see if this fits on the screen okay. Almost. That'll work. Okay, so we now come to the 4th of 4 collections of 4 sets of 12 rounds. Allow me to review with you how that works using Jumbo Cam. We count rounds, a round being 1 inhalation and 1 exhalation. We count rounds on our right hand. With every inhalation, we advance our right thumb. Thusly, over the span of 12 inhalations, or we could count 12 thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, always beginning with the little finger first. We count 4 sets on our left hand, beginning with the little finger. The first of 4 sets of 12 rounds. The second, third, and fourth set of 12 rounds. We can keep track of our 4th collection of 4 sets of 12 rounds by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger in our lap, palms up. That way our thumbs can happily count creases to their heart's content, which not only is useful as a substitute timer for our smartphones, but is also an excellent form of stimming for those of us who are neurodivergent. But there's an additional benefit to resting the base of the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger. And that is, it invites our subtle energies to coalesce at our crown, at the crown of our head. So, the late Tulku Thondup insisted that mindfulness was simply watching the play of mind, watching it how, watching it vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. But what's an example of mind's play? Mind's perceiving, emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. How do we do that? By silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The late Tulku Thondup taught that meditation was simply relaxing to the nature of mind. But how does one do that? By relaxing in harmony with our by relaxing in harmony with our exhalation in such a manner as to induce that which we perceived during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel less solid, less permanent, and less defining. How do we do that? By silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during the exhalation. I would like to explain to you the 3rd benefit of regularly training in mindfulness and meditation, perhaps once every 12 hours or so. And it is that which makes possible the 6th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path, effortless effort. You see, the more time we spend in mindfulness and meditation, the more we will observe that our choices and our utterances and our deeds begin flowing from the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity. No, not scattered spontaneity, but centered spontaneity. And this is so important to success on the Buddha's path that it has been immortalized in iconography. Consider how his stability reminds us of centeredness and her abandon reminds us of spontaneity. This is one of the few sexual positions wherein the man is passive and the woman is active. And now let us practice the silent and mental recitation of this ease and harmony with our inhalation and exhalation as we perceive and release. Excellent. We switch gears now from silent meditation to mantra meditation. The key that unlocks the door is the act of reviewing and explanation of this 12-syllable mantra. Please chant with me. I invoke teachers on action, on meditation, and whom view that the Benza Tantric. Guru teaches Pema enlightenment and city and abilities whom may be mastered by all. Ah, the joys of upgrading to the latest version of Word, eh? So let's explore the actual mechanics of mantra meditation. By the way, this is an artist's rendering of Pema Jigme, Yab, whose mantra we recite. During the inhalations, silently and mentally we recite, relaxing into this. This is whatever seems to pierce our sphere of awareness. Be it a sight, a sound, a sensation, a flavor, a scent, or the like, an emotion, an intention, a thought, a memory, or an imagining. It's whatever occurs to us, be it external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. What we do with that which we notice. We do two things. As we exhale, we physically relax as best we can, and while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Now, if this is your first time hanging out with me or hanging out with me, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. The most important thing is not how quickly you chant the mantra or how beautifully you chant the mantra, but how well you relax during each exhalation. Everything else is window dressing. So I find it useful. Let's see, click the right button here. I find it useful to count it a different way while performing this, wherein each finger represents 1 breath and each set of creases upon each finger represents 1 repetition. Let's practice together right now. Om Mahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 So our goal is to practice 9 sets of 12 repetitions for a total of 108. So for our first 5 sets, we're going to, let me rephrase this. For our second 5 sets, we're going to practice mantra loving kindness. And for our first 5 sets, we're going to practice mantra meditation. To keep track of the one moment, if you please. All right. To keep track of our second of 5 collection of our right hand's 12 repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to our left index finger, resting our left hand upon our left thigh. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hum. 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 Excellent. Here we go. To keep track of our third of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 repetitions, we can touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left middle finger, resting our left wrist upon our left thigh. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hum. 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 To keep track of our fourth of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 repetitions. We could gingerly touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left ring finger, resting the back of our left hand upon our left thigh. And by the way, welcome to this morning's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hum. 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 Let's see here. To keep track of our 5th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to our left little finger, resting the back of our left hand upon our left thigh. Doing so could induce our subtle energies to gather at our lower abdomen. Om Ahum Mizugunu Mebasiri Hung. 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 We began with Mahayoga's wisdom warm-up. For the main body of our practice was mindfulness and silent meditation, capped with mindfulness and mantra meditation. We now conclude this morning's practice with Mahayoga's compassionate cool-down, also known as mantra loving kindness. Why are we doing this? For loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, and so I think I'm going to edit this a trifle. Please bear with me. I'm going to hit 48, and I'm going to hit let's see here. Also known as that's weird. Mantra loving kindness. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Please chant with me. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with our bodies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore substitute the rigidity that confuses metaphors with statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. Let's see. What do you want to do here? This is 36, and this is 36, London. Let's go over here. Let's see if that fits on the screen okay. Okay. So let us keep track of our 6th collection of 12 repetitions by, again, touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left little finger and resting the back of our left hand upon our left thigh. May we be a font of blessing for all upon who we think or who think of us. Together. May all minds of all beings know be as peacefully enlightened as the mind of the real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a Tikle 1 Zero Bija Mantra. We now take all these words, and shrink them down to just 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation, and our exhalation. Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hung. The mental morality of kind intention is the second fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. Let us touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left ring finger and rest the back of our left hand upon our left thigh. May we be a font of blessing for all who we listen to, speak to, or speak of, and for all who listen to us, or speak to us, or speak of us. May all relationships or speech of all beings be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech symbolized by a multisyllabic mantra. Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hung. The interpersonal morality of kind communication is the third fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. All right, so to keep track of our 8th of 9 collections of 12 repetitions, we can touch the tip of our left thumb to our left middle finger, resting the back of our left hand upon our left thigh. May we be a font of blessing for all who we touch or who touch us. Together. May all bodies or forms of all beings know and enjoy the beautiful health represented by Buddha's statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined yet dominant type of enlightenment such as Kuntu Zangpo. Om Ahum Benzu Guru Me Maziri Hun. 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 Oh, that's odd. The physical morality of kind conduct is the fourth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but we can touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our index finger and rest the back of our left hand upon our left thigh. May we be a font of blessing for all who we see or who see us. May all circumstances, all lots of all beings now have their safe fortune or boon, as a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, land or Avanti. Oh, oopsie, let's try this again. Om Ahum Benzu Guru Me Maziri Hun. 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 The circumstantial morality of kind commerce is the fifth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. I sincerely hope you found this to be beneficial. If you feel that I've earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel in approximately 10